Looks like we're on the verge of our first good fight. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to One Punch Man, Season 3, Episode 3. And we are about to see Garou get really into this first fight. It's going to kind of set the tone for the action of the season. And this is where I, excuse me, this is where I believe that all the budget is kind of going. Um, we know that, like, obviously the animation isn't as on point as like a lot of other shows in terms of like the average most of the time runtime of the series, but we know that they're saving up all their budget for like the biggest moments, the action scenes, the climaxes, and we know that they're going to make those look great. And so that's what I'm waiting for the most. Like I've said before, the animation does not make a series. And don't get me wrong, animation can be great. I want to make that very clear. I'm not saying animation is completely unimportant or bad. Animation can obviously elevate a scene and make it even more exciting. But what I'm saying is that it's not all important as a lot of the fans make it out to be. You can have a series with bad animation, and it can still be good. You can have a series where the animation just does not live up, and the series can still be a top series of all time. Because what really matters here is the story and the characters. Those are always the most important thing. At least for me, I will admit, it is subjective. And if you do value the animation that highly, you're allowed to. I'm not going to tell you you're entirely wrong. But it's something I just don't understand. Because from my point of view, animation is an elevator. It is not a make or break part of any show. And I've watched plenty of shows where the animation is either janky or weird or whatnot. Big example being Ruby. Ruby is an internet show, an internet animated series that was made by initially Rooster Teeth and Monty. And at first, the animation, if we're being honest, was kind of shit. Like the first two seasons especially, it started to get better around season 3 and then really jumped in season 4 once they moved to a new software. But the first two seasons were bad in terms of animation. They were bad. And the thing is, it didn't dissuade me or so many other people from watching the series because the story was interesting. The characters were fantastic. The general design work was good. It had some really cool action sequences, some phenomenal music. That's what hooked us in. Not the animation quality. That didn't matter. The best parts of One Punch Man are the story and the characters. Well, the characters mostly for season 1. Season 2 onward has been the story. Though the characters are still right up there. Even in season 1, the animation was never like the highlight. Yeah, people talked about it because it looked amazing because Madhouse put their everything into it. But that was just a plus. The problem is people took that and basically made it their whole personality. They decided that the animation was the only thing this series was living by. And in my opinion, if you were enjoying this series from the start for only its animation and nothing else, you weren't enjoying the series. You were enjoying the pretty animation, but you weren't enjoying the actual show. Remember, when One created One Punch Man, this was created as a webcomic that had absolute dog shit art. You have to remember that. The original art for One Punch Man and Mob Psycho, I think, as well. Mob Psycho, I think, was created after, so it might have been a little better. But the original webcomic art was dog shit. People like to point back to the manga all the time. The manga wasn't, like, created by One. Someone else took One's webcomics and made a manga out of it to elevate the art, basically. Because One's art was dog shit. But there was a certain appeal to that, a certain charm to it. And that's what got people's attention as well. But more so, it was the characters, the story, the powers, the intrigue of it all. Just the idea of the main character being literally the most overpowered character. The idea of, like, literally the gag of the series being that no one could beat him. That if a stronger enemy comes along, Saitama, by extension, gets strong enough to defeat him. That's the entire joke. And that excited people. That got people interested. And that's why the manga was originally made, to elevate the art, to make it look better. But it wasn't One's original designs. It wasn't what the series was originally meant to be. And people need to realize that. And now we had a different studio take over for this series starting in season 2, and they just don't have the same budget and the same level of dedication that Madhouse did. They just don't. And yeah, I know Madhouse, like, animated season 1 on a smaller budget than you would think. And I understand that it was mostly because it was a passion project that it was so well animated. But they chose not to pick up season 2. It was put off to another studio. And because of that, like, the other studio wasn't going to necessarily be as passionate about it. They weren't necessarily going to put their everything into it without, like, you know, the pay, the funding for it. And that's reasonable, honestly. You can't blame them for that. And the studio might have other stuff that they want to focus on more, other stuff that they want to put more into. And they're, let's be honest, putting out One Punch Man, probably more out of obligation to finish it and a desire to, you know, get things out for the fans. And guess what? It's still good. It's still got good story. It's still got good characters. The animation being janky does not change that. The voice acting is still good. The sound design is still good. Literally everything is still good except the animation. And if that ruins it for you, you're allowed to not like it. You're allowed to turn it off. But don't try to, like, destroy this for everyone else's sake. Don't try to act like you're speaking on behalf of the entire anime community. Because you're not. There are plenty of us, and I've seen plenty of people talking about this and being on my side. There are a lot of us who are still just enjoying it for the story and characters. There are a lot of us who are not making fun of its animation every week. There are a lot of us who aren't attacking the director and the animation team. Excuse me. For it not being on the same level as something like Solo Leveling. And yes, that has been a common thing I've been hearing. People are saying that it should be on the same level as Solo Leveling, which is ridiculous for a number of reasons. But I'm not going to get into that whole thing. And I know, you're probably sick of me complaining about this and everything every week, every reaction. But it's like, this is the main discourse surrounding this series. And I feel like I need to talk about it. I feel like I need to discuss it because it's what everyone else is discussing. And I'm sorry, but it's not affecting me at all. It's not it's not only not a deal breaker, it doesn't hurt the series, in my opinion, at all. I'm still enjoying this just as much. In fact, I'm enjoying it more than I ever did for season 1. Just like I enjoyed season 2 much more than season 1. Because I'm focusing on the things that, matter more to me. And so, I'm enjoying this, honestly, more than a lot of shows that have come out recently that are, like, super well animated. So it's like, what does that say? It says that the animation isn't important to me. Again, if it's important to you, if it's really that big of a deal to you, all the power to you. I can't tell you you're wrong. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. You're allowed to have your opinions. I'm also allowed to have mine, and I'm allowed to not agree with yours. I'm allowed to not find validity in yours. I'm allowed my own thoughts, and you're allowed yours, and we're allowed to disagree in any way. So, that being said, we're going to get into this because I'm excited to see this Garou fight. I'm excited to see what else happens with Saitama, and we're getting a bit of Fubuki already, so I'm excited to see if, like, more goes on with her. Or if we're really going to, like, push forward the storyline of her trying to get them to join the Blizzard Gang or whatever they're called, the Blizzard Bunch. So, let's get into this and see what we have in store. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I was wrong. So I looked it up, and Hedro Jellyfish's voice is Tadanori Date, who's barely done anything else. In fact, he has, like, no other roles that I know of at all. Meanwhile, Treble's voice is Taiki Matsuno, who is also apparently the Japanese voice of SpongeBob. He was also Chaz Princeton, at least in Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel, or his Japanese name, Jun Manjome. And various other things here and there, but yeah, it's like completely different voice actor. Like, completely different. But the voice sounded so similar, I really thought I was onto something there. Also, apparently, he has voiced Agumon in various Digimon things. So that's interesting in and of itself. But yeah, it's like, I just got that completely wrong. But that's wild, because he sounded so much like him. It sounded so similar. Like, maybe if I listened to them, like, back to back, I would hear notable differences, but wow. Anyway, so I haven't heard anyone specifically talking about this episode yet, but I wonder what people are saying about it. I wonder what the discourse surrounding it is, because, hey, animation. We got some good animation in this. So I haven't heard people saying anything about this, so I don't know if, like, they're still bitching about it or not. They probably are. But, yeah, we actually got good animation with the fight sequences and even a couple other scenes. And things look to be progressing and maybe getting better, like, for the average scene as well. But if not, again, not the biggest deal. Either way, the story and the character stuff is still, like, ramping up. Garou loses his fight. Mostly because he gets distracted because Tareo gets kidnapped by Hedro Jellyfish. He gets captured by him, and that distracts Garou enough for the other two, Insect God and the Ripper, for them to take advantage of the situation, and Ripper just shreds into Garou and leaves him for dead. Because, yeah, of course he does. Also, doesn't actually check to make sure. Because the funny thing is that Ripper could have probably just taken Garou's head off and that would have definitely killed him. But instead, just, assumes he's dead and leaves. Big mistake. Garou is going to not only be pissed at having lost, because we know that Garou doesn't like to lose, but Garou is also going to be pissed at you taking Tare, who he actually does notably care about. It's like, you are going to get destroyed. All three of them. Hedgerow Jellyfish, Insect God, and the Ripper. They're all going to get destroyed. It's funny, they're expecting and planning for the infiltration and arrival of the S-Class heroes, which is definitely going to happen. We're definitely going to be entering a big war between the hero and the monster associations. But I don't think they're quite expecting Garou to come back and just lay waste to everything he can. He is going to, go crazy, and it's going to be fun to see. The thing is, I think Gyoro, knowing how smart they are, is probably expecting this. Because they noticed that that Ripper didn't make sure that Garou was dead. And we know they had, faith in Garou's abilities. So I think they know. I think that they understand what's going to happen here. And they might have even been doing this specifically to get rid of Ripper and Insect God because they're, so insubordinate normally. So this might have been their plan right off the start. But we see here that the Monster Association has obviously all these, Dragon class monsters who are obviously a massive threat. And it's going to be interesting to see these battles that are being set up here. We get to see all of these monsters. We don't know all of them, and they don't all look super intimidating, but they absolutely are going to be a lot stronger than we give them credit for. Mind you, not all the heroes look super intimidating. Tatsumaki doesn't. Tatsumaki looks like a little sassy child, as Saitama had put it in season 1. But in reality, she's 28, 29. And she's, the most powerful Esper out there. So, yeah. She's probably one of the most powerful heroes in this series, I would wager. Not counting Saitama, obviously. I would say she's actually probably stronger than her current ranking would suggest. She's I don't remember what her ranking is, but I feel like maybe one of the top 3. That also might just be me talking out my ass. I don't know for sure. I don't know. But do not tell me, obviously, if you know more than I do, because I've never read the webcomic or manga outside of a couple panels just from seeing them online. Do not tell me. I am anime original. Or anime only, rather. Anyway, so yeah, we see also a big scene back at Saitama's house. He comes back, wants everybody to leave because he's just sick and tired of everybody being in his house. But Dr. Kuseno arrives, surprisingly. Also, interestingly, Genos detected that Dr. Kuseno has a high power level. So is it just the suit that's doing that? I'd have to assume so, because I think otherwise Dr. Kuseno is probably a normal human, right? So it must be the suit that's giving off that power. But either way, he comes and he, finally gets to meet Saitama and gives him a gift of fancy beef, which Saitama instantly befriends him for. It's like, oh shit, you could stay, let's have hot pot. And he got his cabbage back from Blizzard too, because he left that at the restaurant. So he got his Napa cabbage. He got the fancy meat. It's like he is so down to have a hot pot. I like Blizzard's response to that. It's like, shit, you have a hot pot with fancy meats like this? Don't you have any like red wine? He's like, no. It's like, I mean, hey, fancy meat would be great in a hot pot. Like, you could do whatever you want with it. It's like some people would say that'd be a waste, sure. But who cares? It's your meat. Do whatever you want with it. Like, you can prepare it and cook it in any way you desire as long as it's good. Then who cares? It's like you don't need to make it all fancy like. And Saitama's not that kind of person anyways. Like, he'll love the meats because it's high quality and it's going to taste good. But he's not into, like, the fancy preparations and whatnot. He's very down to earth when it comes to food. He's good with, you know, the simple stuff. Not that he would, like, turn up his nose at the fancy stuff, but it's not something he's going to make himself. But I love Genos forcing King out the door to try to get him to fight the monster, and King's like, no, please. But also, like, still not revealing that he's actually just super weak. That was fun. And just seeing Tareo meet this other kid, like seeing that they now have two child prisoners. It's like, one, that's kind of fucked. Like, when you think about it, child prisoners in general that's always a fucked situation. But also, it's like, so we have this rich bitch kid and a commoner kid. And the rich bitch kid is like super confident. He's not worried at all. He's just like, oh, the heroes are going to come and save me because my father's this bigwig in the association. And so he's like not even stressed. When he sees Taro, he's like, hey, you got any food? I'm kind of hungry. And then afterwards, he's like, hey, I'll help you get out of here. I'll tell the heroes to help you get out as well. You just got to work for me while we're here. Which is, you know, privileged as fuck. But I mean, he's privileged as fuck. Like, this kid is literally grown up knowing nothing else. He's lived in high society. His father is, as we know, a very privileged rich bitch as well. And so it's like you can't really blame the kid for that. It's the parents doing. The kid, it's just like he knows nothing else. It's all he's been raised to believe and think and how he views the world. And his confidence is nice. It's like it probably helps and everything in here. But, you know, it's also false confidence built on just his position. And Tario doesn't have that. Tario's a commoner kid. Like, he has faith in the heroes, but at the same time, he's scared shitless. Because it's not that he doesn't have faith like the other kid does, whose name I can't remember right now. But he's scared. He doesn't have the confidence that comes from just having everything taken care of in his life. And considering he just saw someone who he, like, had this immense trust in, who he saw as being super strong, be seemingly killed before his eyes, it's like this kid's probably shitting his pants, possibly literally. I could absolutely believe this kid, like, literally soiled himself. Or at least pissed himself. Just from the fear. Like, I'm not saying that to be, like, gross or anything. I mean, literally. That is that kind of fear that would be instilled in him. Because it's like, again, this is like, what, an 8-year-old kid at max? And he just saw, again, someone who he saw as very strong, very capable, just be violently and horrifically murdered, laid out in a pool of blood before him. while being literally kidnapped by these horrific, violent, terrifying monsters brought before another one and talking about killing all the heroes in front of him. And then he's imprisoned in a cell. It's like, yeah, this kid's gonna be like scared out of his fucking gourd. Like any person naturally would be. It's like that's normal. That's reasonable. It's like that would be like one of the scariest situations that could ever happen to a person, much less a kid of like, again, 8 years old or so. It's like I know when I was that age, that kind of thing would have like, I mean, even now, honestly, that kind of thing would like terrify the shit out of me. Again, probably literally. I would be that scared. And it's just like, I can't understand how how so much privilege and stuff can give you confidence enough to be, you know, not scared in that situation like this other kid. Because it's like, I've never been there. I've never had that kind of privilege. I've never been well off in any regard. My family hasn't been. My family has always been like upper lower class, honestly at best. Maybe lower middle class if you really want to push it, but I don't think we've ever been quite there. We have never had money and we have never been well off. And yeah, it's not really any better. Like even today, it's like it's honestly worse than it had been in the past. I was actually in a much better position when I was Tario's age. I'm much worse off now. But honestly, the economy is also much worse now than it has ever been in my lifetime. So it's like it's just insanity. And again, I would have been absolutely like a mess. I would have been crying, I would have been like screaming, I would have been, and I'm not even just talking when I was a kid. I'm talking like if this happened to me like now. I'm a little bitch baby. You got to know that about me. I don't handle like any kind of like confrontation or like there's another word I'm trying to think of. I don't handle stress. Let's put it that way. Stress is a good word for it. I don't handle stress very well at all. I break down if things get too stressful for me. And again, something like that would be not just stressful but terrifying to a degree that I would not be able to handle it. I would not be okay. And I am comfortable enough to admit that about myself. I have no issue acknowledging my weaknesses. And one of those happens to be that I am a little bitch baby. It's why I have trouble playing a lot of horror games. The reason why I could never like play much of Amnesia, for example. It's just like it was way too much on me, and I was not feeling okay playing it. Poppy playtime is one thing like that I can handle because I get more invested in the lore than anything, and the enemy designs and whatnot. But it's like something that is built to like terrify you on such a like significant level, like Amnesia. It's like it's I couldn't handle it. For those who watched me back in the day try to play Amnesia, if any of you are still here, you know what I'm talking about. You know how much that like got to me. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot being set up here. And I don't know how quickly we're going to get to it. I know this season's like a single course season, which I think all of them have been, haven't they? I think so. But that does probably mean we're going to get to the war a lot quicker than otherwise. And I'm kind of feeling like Saitama's just not going to be involved in it in any way, or any of his group. I think all of them are going to be completely out of commission for this war. I think it's mostly the war is going to center around the other heroes we see in the opening: Tatsumaki, Super Alloy Blackluster, the Pig God, Amai Mask, and all these others. I think they're going to be more of the focus this season, which is fine. I have no problem with that. With a series like this, it works. There are other shows where it's like, oh, but you can't sideline and the main character and make him like a side supporting role, even for just an arc. In a series like this, you can do that. It's the right kind of show to be able to handle that kind of thing. Because you have such a massive cast of characters that are all so interesting, you can have an arc that focuses on the other characters. It's not one of those where you need to have Saitama, or the main character in general, be the focus at all times. Especially because of Saitama's character and, being stronger than literally everything and everyone else. If you had Saitama be an active part in this war, it's like it wouldn't be a war. It'd be a one-sided bloodbath. So it's like, yeah, we kind of have to do it this way. And the last thing I'll talk about is, once again, at the beginning of the episode, we did have Zombie Man meeting with Dr. Genus. We found out why he's not running the House of Evolution anymore, and it's because of Saitama. He's basically found the perfection of human evolution, and that is Saitama, even mentioning that he's like the only person who has ever fully removed his limiter, that he has no limits to his power, that he doesn't have a ceiling he can ever reach, which is insane. And again, I've been saying this since season 1 and people have been doubting me, but this is like now proven. It is directly stated. Saitama is limitless. That is his design. And so we get the confirmation here, and we see how he's just always going to be stronger. And so because of this, Dr. Genus just figured, there's just no point. My entire goal, my entire life's purpose was just kind of invalidated by this one random dude who likes getting deals at supermarkets. So he just opened up a takoyaki restaurant because it's like he was just fascinated by octopi's regenerative abilities. It's like, oh, I've studied octopi's and how they can regenerate their limbs and everything. And it's like, I just thought that was pretty neat. And so he decides to cook them up and fry them in batter and whatnot. And it's like, you know what? Fair enough, dude. I can't blame you for that. But yeah, this was great. This was another fantastic episode. The comedy was really great in this one. I love the beef. The fancy beef scene was so good because I knew instantly, the instant Dr. Kuseno brought it out, I knew exactly how Saitama was going to react. I knew that was going to get to him. It's like, yeah, he gets a gift of fancy beef entirely free just for, helping out Genos and stuff. It's like, oh, Dr. Kuseno, you said? We're best friends now. You can come in. Let's have hot pie. I love it so much. This series is so good. It's so good. Glad I got to this right away. Glad I didn't wait on this. It's just, this was something I've been looking forward to for, again, like, what was it, 6 years now since season 2? And we've known it was coming, I think, for a couple years now. I think they said like 2 years back that they were working on it. So it's like I've been waiting, and I'm glad we're finally here, and I'm glad that it's just living up to the humor, the excitement, the great storytelling. Everything is just escalating in the right ways. I love it. It's fantastic. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.